I turned $100 into 1,000 in 3 trading days. Okay, you can see the account started at 109 and it's currently sitting at 1,104. And while there was a little bit of luck involved, there's also a method to the madness. And in this video, I want to do a full guide going over the entire strategy I used to make this happen. Okay, you can see that it actually only took 2 trades. What I'm going to do is show you the actual history here. So it was a trade on ANET calls, got in at 105, sold it for 500, and then I got BKNG calls, got in at 500 and out for 1,100. Okay, so all it took was 2 different trades. If we go to the account on the week, it actually hit a low of 42 and then ended up going to 1104. But like I said, there was a little bit of luck to make that magnitude happen in just 3 trading days. However, there's also a very simple strategy I used to know that these trades would work out. Okay, and what I'm going to do is break down the entire thing so you guys can trade it for yourselves and also see how I'm going to end up taking this into 10K. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. That's for a future video. But for now, I want to go ahead and dive in and show you guys everything that you need to know. All right, so let me go ahead and make my face a little bit smaller here, and we can go ahead and dive into the charts and show you the exact process. So the first trade, like I said, was on ANET. Okay, now my strategy, as you guys have probably seen in some of my videos, maybe you haven't, is based around supply demand. However, this strategy is actually based around what I call balance theory. Okay, this is a strategy that I made myself. It's been proven to work. I've back tested it. And what I want to do is break down kind of how the strategy works and how I used it on these 2 trades and how I'm going to continue to plan to grow this account using this very simple strategy. So the basis of balance theory is the fact that let's say price is in a trading range. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little box here. I'm going to go ahead and make it purple. I like to make my balance zones purple. And let's say price is trading in a range, right? High, low, very simple support resistance, right? That's how we like to kind of trade based off, right? Classic retail pattern, as you would say. Now, when I see this, it's similar to support resistance, but it's slightly different. And what I want to see is I actually want to see price break a support resistance, immediately fail, and then reverse. So if we take a look at ANET, right, we're in this little support range, right, or support resistance balance zone. I want to see price break below this zone, right, take out all the stops here. So everyone who's long in this area gets stopped out. I want to see price immediately reverse back inside. And what I do is how I trade is I play the rotation all the way back to that resistance level. Really, really simple setup. Okay, similar to support resistance. But what I'm doing is simply waiting for the stop hunt to already happen. Oops, right? I'm waiting for the stop hunt to occur. So everybody gets stopped out. Price comes back inside. We reclaim and hold that support. And then I can look to get long and target the other side here. Okay, really simple strategy. Now, if we take a look at ANET, how did I actually play this? So ANET had earnings coming up. Okay, now knowing earnings was coming up, I didn't want to play earnings. But what I did was I said, okay, price came down, we break the support, right? Earnings open, we end up back into this balance zone, right? So if we take a look, I can go ahead and clear this. We have really clear resistance up here and a really clear support right here. And I draw it as a purple zone. That's how I draw my zones, okay? So when price breaks down right before earnings, all right, you can see how the manipulation and everything starts to occur here, right? They stop out everyone who got in long. So everyone who's in long here, everyone who's in long here gets stopped out. They drop it. That's when all the institutions load up, right? Right in this area here is when all the smart money's buying. Earnings come out, and they push it and squeeze it higher. And right up to that $200 whole level mark, right up into this liquidity at 189, everything lines up perfectly. So how did I actually play this? Well, when earnings came out, we go ahead and look at extended hours, right? Just a nice push up into extended hours. Market go ahead and opens right here. We get a nice push lower, and on this dip lower is when I get in for that move up to 198, right? So beautiful example of what I just described. We have a nice support level. Let me go ahead and draw this in. We break support, stop everybody out, come back inside. We have good earnings, and we play that rotation back to the other side of resistance up here. Now, here's something that's really, really important, okay? Now, when I got in and price broke up at the target at 198, the option was not at $500. Okay, if you remember, I got in, I don't know where it went, but if you remember, I got in, it was at 105, and I sold it for $500. Now, at this point, the option was probably only worth like 200, 250. I forgot what exactly, because I got the 205 call. I got pretty far out of the money to make this happen. But when price hit my target, I said, okay, well, let's see if ANET has a history of breaking out. It does, right? We tend to get some pretty clean moves. We break out, really get these moves going, right? If we look at this resistance here, got a nice breakout. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and let's just hold on and see what happens. So I'm looking at the 30-minute chart. Price comes up. We break out of that resistance. We get above 200. We come back. We hold this area of support right here. Oops. Right as we're coming into close, we hold this area of support, and we close above 200. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give it another day. I think this thing can really run, and we're going to see if we can get a nice move out. And that's exactly what happened. Next day, market opens. We gap up, hit the gap fill. We immediately reeve higher, and at this 208 area is when I end up getting out, okay, right around here, okay? So all in all, very, very beautiful trade, right? Now, again, when I say that I was lucky, I wasn't lucky that the strategy ended up working out, right? I know that the strategy has an edge. I'm going to show you the other example on BKNG, so you guys are going to get a really good idea of how this actually works. But I was lucky in the fact that I was able to hold on, and we got a very nice continuation move, okay? So, again, I'm not coming in here and saying that you guys can follow the strategy and turn 100 into 1,000 in 3 days. I'm saying that if you follow the strategy, it's going to work, but you may not get that magnitude that I did or the luck I did on this exact play. Anyways, that's for a different story, but simply going off this, really, really simple trade. You can see we stop hunted the lows, came back inside, and played that rotation higher. Now, I want to show you guys BKNG. This one was a little bit different, all right? This one did I actually involve supply-demand with it, okay? So let me get rid of the drawings here. Now, like I said, balance theory is a great strategy. It's the same thing I'm using on here, but I also added in an element of supply and demand here, and I want to break that down for you. So, same exact thing, BKNG. Let's take a look at the weekly chart here. A lot of things to look at, okay? BKNG. Nice move higher, beautiful move lower. Where are we going into? Weekly demand, just like this. Beautiful weekly demand zone, okay? So we show that and we say on a higher time frame, we're going to be bullish, right? We're expecting price to move higher. So we zoom in on the daily. We start and we ask ourselves, okay, what do we see here? What do we tend to notice? We start to see a little bit of a balance zone forming, okay? Going in like a 2-hour chart. I'm just going to get rid of this for a second. So a little bit easier to see, but just understand that we are coming out of a higher time frame demand zone. But right here, you guys can see, got a nice little resistance up here. Nice little support forming right here, okay? Beautiful, beautiful play. Now, what do we see happen, right? We have our support. We have our resistance. Price comes down. What do? We end up breaking the support. We stop on it, okay? So we stop on it low. We take liquidity, okay? And we pop back right into support. We pop right back into this balance zone, okay? I can go ahead and draw it like this. A little bit easier to see. Okay, go ahead and make that purple again. Get rid of these. Right? So we break that, we take liquidity, we come back inside, right? We zoom in. We come back into another demand zone that forms right here. We pop out and make a new high, right? So what do we see forming? Let's think about this. We have our little balance zone, right? We have our move lower, we form the support, we move up, we form the resistance. We come down, we break support, go back into balance, test demand inside of balance and retest that support level, and then bounce off higher and make a new higher high, just like this. Oops. Just like that. Okay, you can see right here, go up, we go ahead and we break structure here, make a new high. Everything is starting to align. This is a beautiful, beautiful setup. So, when do I actually get into trade, and how did I actually play this? Well, this one was actually a day trade. Okay, you can see ANET, that was more of a swing trade. This one is actually more of a day trade. So what did I end up doing? Well, if we take a look at the 30-minute chart, we see a little bit more of balance form. Okay, this is actually interesting because we have another balance zone form inside of this one. You can see, I'll go ahead and draw it in a different color here. We have a nice little resistance form right there, nice little support form right here. Right, so you could have even played this intraday if you wanted to, right? Where same exact thing happens, right? Price is ranging. We go ahead and break support. We come back inside. We get that nice move and that rotation higher. Okay, so you can see 2 different ways here. But what I saw was the overall bigger support, right? And I saw that, okay, Earnings is coming out, right? I believe it gapped down on earnings. Oops. Yep, so we had a nice gap down on earnings, and then we had a forming, all the way back up in the pre-market. If I take a look at regular session, because I don't tend to look at pre-market that much, price came down. I believe it was on the 4-hour. Beautiful. We see price come down into another demand zone, just like this. Now, where has price not gone to yet? What is this high right here? That's our resistance. That's the top of that balance zone. That's our liquidity, right? Price always goes to liquidity. Price always goes from lows to highs and lows to highs. So I see this forming, and I say, okay, price is coming down into this demand, right? We have not hit liquidity yet. It just came off earnings. There's a good chance we can get that rotation all the way up to 2860. Okay, that's going to be my target. And we got exactly that, right? BKNG price opens. I don't get in right at the open. I'm keeping an eye on it. I see it bounce off demand. We all the way almost hit target. We pull back. We bounce again. And at this point, I get in somewhere here in the middle. All right, so I'm getting in long. I got the 2.8. I think it was a 6.5 call, so pretty far out the money. Stop was going to be down at the lows. Targeting was going to be up at the highs. Nice 1.84 risk reward, okay? Really, really solid setup. And you can see price just slowly drifted all the way up to where to go? Liquidity, because that's how price moves. Again, price is always going from lows to highs. And if you can understand where market wants to go and how liquidity works and how auction market balance theory works, just like this, you can make a lot of money trading these plays, right? If you can understand that when price is ranging, when price is in a range here, a very clear range, and price fails to, hold one of the ranges and then immediately comes back inside, that shows that it was just a stop hunt, right? Everybody who bought in this area here, it was just a shakeout, right? Everyone who bought gets stopped out. The institution's the smart money, right? They get in here. Price comes back inside of this balance zone. We reclaim and hold support. So then we know that, okay, it was just a fake out. And then what do we have to do? Well, where's price going to go? Liquidity, right? It's going to go to that high here. It's going to go to this high all the way up here. It's going to keep going to highs and keep going to lows and keep going to highs, keep going to lows. And if you can do this, you can catch really good risk reward trades, right? Just like this. Now, again, BKNG was not the best risk reward trade, but I was right on the accuracy in the theory of balance theory that price was going to drive up towards liquidity at 2865, right? And because I was in a small account, I was playing it as a challenge account. It was $100, right? That's like nothing. I wasn't taking proper risk management with this account specifically, as you guys can probably tell. But the risk reward is still there, right? I'm risking $100 to end up making 1,000, right? Or I'm risking 500 to turn it into 1,000. That's a 2x, right? That's at least a 1-to-1. So if we take a look at risk management and how I play these small accounts, if you end up starting small and go for these 3, 4, 5, 10x gains, you can actually have a good risk reward while still risking the entire account. And you can see I even did that here with BKNG. So, and same thing with ANET, right? That was a massive, massive move, getting in here and then getting out all the way up here, right? Now, again, I was lucky on the magnitude here that we got a nice run up the next day after and was able to sell for a decent profit. But nonetheless, the strategy works. Okay, BKNG, where does it go? Right to liquidity. ANET, same thing. What happens? Where do we go? We stop out the masses. Okay, everybody gets stopped out right before earnings. They all sell. They panic sell. Oh my God, it's going to dump. Everybody's selling before earnings. It's probably going to have bad earnings. And then boom, go to earnings and it rips. Same thing with ANET. You guys, you can look. It happens all the time. Look what happened right here. Take a look. ANET earnings. What do we do? Boom. Take a look at this. This is crazy. We take out liquidity, right? We stop hunt the masses here. Drive price up. Everybody gets bullish here, right? Everybody gets bullish up in this area. Then what happens? They dump it right before earnings, stop everybody out. Earnings comes out, and where does it go? Right back to that high liquidity. That's all price does, right? All it does is go from highs and low and high and low. Same thing happened here. We went down on earnings. Where do we go? Right back up to liquidity. It's always going this. It's the same pattern, and we can really understand and recognize this. You can make a lot of money from it. And for me, it took literally 2 trades. Went from 109 to 1,104. Okay, You can see it dipped down to 42. It's technically $42 into 1100 in 3 trading days, right? That's over a 20x gain. And like I said, this is not how I do my main accounts, right? My main accounts, I use proper risk management. I risk the same amount per trade. I'm very cautious with that, right? But when it comes to a challenge account, small accounts, if you have one, you can trade it in a way where you still have a good risk reward, but go for these massive moves, right? And you don't necessarily have to get lucky like I did. You can still play the same strategy. And if you know that at some point, price is going to go up to this high, you know which options to get. You know you can get the 2860 call and that you're going to be in the money at some point, right? Now, there's no 100% guarantee in trading. I'm not saying it's going to work every time, but I am saying price goes to liquidity. That is something you can guarantee. And as long as you're on the right side of the market, the right side of the move, you can go ahead and trade along with it, right? And this strategy is something that I'm going to use to try and take this to 10K. Now, am I going to be able to take this to 10K? I don't know. Hopefully, right? If I'm risking the entire account per trade, the odds are not in my favor. Again, this is not how I run my typical accounts, but I am showing you that with this strategy, you can make money. And what I'm simply going to do going forward is simply look for the same setups, right? I can go to these random stocks over here. Again, I haven't traded any of these in a while. You can see it happen all the time. Take a look. TTD. Just like this. We have a nice little resistance. We have a nice little support. What does price do? Okay, let's take a look. Price breaks support, stops everybody out, right? We see that increase in volume, right? So that institutions are getting in all the way down here, okay? And then what happens? Next 3-4 days, turn around, we get a nice squeeze higher, right? So I'm willing to bet that price is eventually going to get up to here. And all I have to do as a trader with a small account specifically is make sure I'm getting in the right options to time that, okay? And that's going to be a huge key when it comes to actually understanding how to play these small accounts, right? BKNG, if we go ahead and take a look, not only do we have balance theory, but we also have the advantage of weekly demand, right? Remember, price is bouncing off this weekly demand zone here, right? So what you can do is you can layer in and tie these strategies together and combine them into something that's going to give you a massive edge so you know essentially where price is going to go, right? And maybe BKNG ends up moving higher. Maybe it goes all the way up to the supply, right? But what I know is that my edge right now is no longer here on this strategy, right? The edge was in that price was going to go up to this liquidity, and that's what price did, right? So now whatever happens is out of my control. I don't know what's going to happen. Price may go down towards this liquidity, may want to take out this high at 2950. There's a lot of things that price can do, okay? But simply by looking at balance theory and understanding that, again, price just goes in ranges, right? Like, where does price go here? It takes this high here, liquidity. Price then takes this low, liquidity. Price then takes this high, liquidity. Price then takes this low, liquidity. I sound crazy saying this, but this is how markets move. Look at this balance theory setup. There's like a million trades here you could have taken on BKNG, right? We break out and we come back, and we false break out, we come back, we false break out, we come back. It's the same exact pattern, okay? It's not like a mystery. It's the same exact pattern. We stop everybody out, then we go higher. Stop everybody out, then we go higher. When you add in supply demand, you add in trend, you add in how to use options the right way and trade them correctly, you can turn $100 into $1,000 in 3 trading days, okay? I've done this with a few other small accounts. And I'm going to try and take this one to 10K. There's no guarantee I can do that, but we're going to try. Okay, and I'll definitely check that out. So subscribe to the channel, okay, if you want to see that next video that I do. Maybe it's me turning into 10K. Maybe I blow it up. Who knows? But if you want to stick around and see kind of the journey of how I end up doing this channel, how I do more of my own strategies when it comes to risk management, how I actually trade my main accounts, because going all in on trades like this is not how I actually trade. I want to make that very clear for you guys. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you want to learn more about how I actually trade, because this was kind of a good breakdown, but I can't really fit all of that information into one video, I want you to go ahead and click the first link in the description below, okay? On that link, I'm going to give you guys a complete free training breaking down my 3-phase system I use to trade, okay? So go ahead, check out that free training below, and go ahead, test out the strategy, see what happens, right? I'm going to see if I can take this to 10K. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I can, maybe I won't. But stick around for the journey. We'll see if we can do it together. And with that being said, guys, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you all in the next video.